Good. I'm coming from Riga, neighbor country, coming to lovely Tallinn, that I love very much, because it's somehow more beautiful than my own city. I don't know, that's strange. My name is Vladimirs Ivanovs, and I will share with you, in the beginning, some personal story. Because the topic is about path that some of you have already walked, some of you are thinking about walking, and you're coming from different schools, different experiences, but this project management track is outside of the door. This is what unites us. Can I see who are working right now as a project managers? Okay. Who are working as programmers? Okay. Yeah. People programmers. People programmers, any? Analysts? Okay. What are the other professions that are not mentioned? Managers? Okay, QA. Thank you. But again, I will start with a personal story. And then I will share 4 actually persona-based stories that will describe real people that I have experienced in my life. I will not say where did I work with them or where I have heard from them, but they will be like personas describing different paths, how people could come to project management and how they behave. And in the conclusion, in the giveaway, I will try to show what kind of models or what kind of systems can be seen behind this, why people behave this or this way. And it will be based on one guy called Itzhak Adzizis, who have read his any article or book. Very good. It will be insightful presentation for you then. So, about myself. I've started in 80s willing to program. And yeah, I did. I programmed in assembler for PDP-11 processors. And this took me to the technical university, and I spent approximately 4 years, more than 400 online days in the game called Multi-User Dungeon. Have anyone played Multi-User Dungeons? Okay. Hi. We speak later. Have I lost this time? It took quite significant portion from I slept, I maybe met my friends, maybe went to some lectures, and then I played. For sure, I had to take time to properly play and be perfect there. From studies, from my sleep, from meeting friends. But as a takeaway, I learned English. Ah, nice. But then one of the friends brought me to the telecom to work as an administrator. Gamers help gamers. And I started as admin. And then I realized that people who knew administrators in this telecom, they have hard times when they are introduced to job. And my boss realized that I can quickly teach them, help to get better and feel more comfortable with doing the job. So they started to send all newcomers to me for some weeks or months to spend, and then they went for permanent work in some regions. And that was a moment when I realized that actually I like working with people more than with computers and boxes. Click moment. And when opportunity came to work with projects where you don't only, where you have more people to communicate with, I for sure took this. And then projects grow bigger, and in the end it were like building new services, new products, helping telecom to start new ventures with other companies. And I then switched jobs to become CIO, so projects became programs. And then you have a portfolio, not only to decide which are the right projects, which projects to do in the right way, but also which are the right projects to do, because resources are limited. And this whole experience brought me to current position when I own the company. I have do training, speaking, and consulting. Okay, this is my personal story. How I came to project management. But somehow I went through the project management and became a consultant. But this is not the end of the project manager's life, because above project manager, there are programs, there are portfolios, there are managerial positions, consulting, many different perspectives. But what I have stayed with is passion about this as a art, as something that you do and combine different methods and ways, and you learn constantly something new, and you try on alive people, and only then on animals. But that's how you build your experience. And I'm part of this International Project Management Association, trying to help others also to figure out the ways through their careers. One of the questions is, this is typical map. What do we expect usually from the project manager? To be a good leader, right? We want him to lead. Apart of these things, can you say something that is not on the list? What you would recommend adding?
Good followers.
Good followers. Yeah. Because leader, you can judge if the leader is good by the followers. That's exactly the outcome of the good leadership. And then the results come also. Yeah. Shall good leader be expert in the industry? No? Where he or she shall be the expert? How he could tell you what exactly to do?
You need domain knowledge, but you don't need to be a domain expert.
So, not mandatory industry expert. If you think of something more to add to this list, please stop me and say. But often people expect good leader also to be perfect, perfect manager. So I came up with this acronym that PM is not a project manager, it's a perfect manager. We expect him to do many stuff, be a good leader, and actually in many industries I came across with, retail for example. If you are not expert in retail, you are not working as a project manager. Or in order to get first project in banking, you need some reference from working in banking. That's interesting how to get there. And the fact is that these project managers, the ideal project managers, they do not exist. There is no such a thing as a perfect man. One preacher once said that there is no such thing as a perfect man, and I can prove it to you. Please, who have ever known a perfect man stand up? Nobody stood up. Then he continued, who have ever known a perfect woman? And then one elderly woman stood up. Astonished, preacher asked, did you really knew the absolutely perfect woman? No, I didn't knew her personally, but I have heard a lot of great stories about her. She were my husband's previous wife. So the conclusion is that if somebody is perfect, she is probably already dead. We could strive for excellence, but we cannot keep that. We could remember a moment. Oh, by that time when I wrote this CV, probably I was the most excellent person. Or at some moment when I resolved one crisis, but not in all aspects. This brings me to my observation that in my previous projects and experience, I spotted 4 personas I'd like to share. Personas is a name for real character that is described. So let me present Opi. He is called producer. He is probably a bachelor in computer science. He was. And he knows at least 3 programming languages. He got promoted to project manager because he was a very good technical lead. This happens quite often. That the boss sees that, oh, okay, you are a good programmer, you become a technical lead. Oh, you are managing this people well, maybe you can manage a project. But again, from his personality haven't changed since he started as a programmer. And his biggest success in the role was that he found one process and found a brilliant way how to automate it. He programmed a tool for automation himself. And that made big effect, quite big effect on the organization. But again, when this kind of person is you can see them sometimes as a lone rangers. They don't need anyone else. They come to work first and still there. It's called fish syndrome. Works very hard, first in, still here. And when he says, yes, that means exactly yes. When he says no, that means no. But not many bosses are used to this kind of communication. And when he becomes a boss for his team, he doesn't realize that people needs to be trained. And the delegation, what's this? What's this? He is very much what to do oriented. And they spends days solving problems. So the focus is short term. And now. So the Peter principle, we promote people to the level of their incompetence, is exactly about this kind of person. But again, this is not a course, because this just describes a person who is not ideal, but he is perfect fit for the team where he needs to lead software developers, because he have all the credibility from the guys, and they accept he is imperfect. But if you put him in the project that is bigger scale, where also marketing and communication with business is involved, he probably will run into problems. Person number 2, administrator. I call her administrator. She is in charge of release and testing process and loves processes and documentation. When there was open position among all the candidates for the position, managers knew that we need the person who loves documentation, because nobody else will be able to work with this, because it's mainly documentation and the processes you work with, unfortunately. She is perfectly in and out on time, and that's the ideal person. Desk clean. She manages by the book. In project management, it could be Prince2 or PMBOK. In release management, it's ITIL. They have special book for how to do releases properly. I'm ITIL expert, by the way, but again, in real life, you hardly take things from the book. That's where she struggles. So in the extreme side, she becomes a bureaucrat. And that means that when she is silent, that means no. When she says no, that means maybe. But the good thing is about her, if you have the conversation and you found the common language, then if she says yes, that will be yes 100%. That's good. She is very much how-oriented, how we do it, and focus on what should be done. And one thing that is interesting, that she would rather do wrong things right than the right things wrong. That reminds me, previous week I was in the conference with Finnish project managers, and one guy have told the story that his father took a world trip, and when he came back, someone asked him, "Did you had any language problems?" "No, they did," he answered. So for this particular person, it was very hard to find common language to communicate with her. For everybody. Why? We will see later. You probably start to already guess. Persona number 3, Jax. He is typical entrepreneur. You see one here. He is contributor, innovator, so always comes up with new ideas and changes directions and priorities. And how he behaves in meetings. No fixed time for the meetings. When he needs his employees. When his employees need to be at work. Actually, when he comes. And the employees usually leave when he leaves. And when they shall be available, immediately when he needs them. For the meeting, probably. Meetings usually don't have agenda. And he talks a lot. Do you feel it right now? He likes to see much activities, rushing and crisis. And in extreme cases, the subordinates are overloaded, and then the extreme case is arsonist. So actually, about myself, I clearly understand that I generate so much interesting ideas and put them into action to people that sometimes I generate problems, because it was very calm and quiet, and suddenly I came again with a nice idea. But I haven't thought about who, how, because I have been thinking about why not. And yeah, when this kind of person says yes, silence means yes, and when he says yes, that means maybe. When he says no, that means 100% no. You will not shake him anymore. And this iron triangle of project management, the holy iron triangle, this kind of person shows little appreciation to this holy thing. And is first to propose agile, DevOps, lean, whatsoever, in order to avoid the holy triangle. But one good thing about the person, one more good thing about this person, is that this kind of person is good teacher. Very wide horizon and the long-term view. So that means he has a lot of things, sees a lot of things in the future that others don't, and could share and help them to go there, to the future. And number 4, TIG, integrator. Integrity is a quality that all good leaders must have. I mean, that sometimes a way to find compromise. Compromise could be a win-win, or compromise could be when all parties are equally unhappy. That, for some cultures, is better compromise. And one good thing, definitely, about this kind of person, he listens very well. And in big organizations, he could understand what is a power play, who is the main powerful guy, and will use all his abilities in order to get the information from subordinates who become their informers about where are decisions taken and where could he get in order to make influence or have some sort of information. So for these reasons, he spends all his life in meetings. In these meetings, if he chairs, everyone talks, because he needs a lot of information. And the extreme side of this kind of person is super follower. He doesn't lead, he follows. But he has so perfect sense for consensus opinion, so he can understand, now it's safe to stand up and say, I think this. And he is the first to say this. Also, he just sensed someone's idea that became a consensus. But he will be first to claim his copyright to this idea and contribution to organization. So typical answer, yes or no. Everything means maybe. And the person is who-oriented. That's quite important skill to understand who will do the project. The guy from the previous entrepreneur just starts the idea. This guy will start no project before he knows who will do it, which is a quite good way to make projects successful. So when he develops his qualities, he could become very good right hand or shepherd in big organizations. But one thing to consider about this kind of personality is that what Bill Cosby has told. I don't know the way to success, but the clear key to failure is the way to try to satisfy, please everybody. So finding a consensus is not always possible, not in all cultures, as previous colleague from Guatemala have told in this room. And we come to some summary now, where I could share how these personas belong to a model by Itzhak Adizes, where you see these four roles, and you see on the scale of perspective, where entrepreneur and integrator are more global, and producer and administrator are more local. You have also scale of pace, speed, and scale of approach. Administrator and producers are more structured. And scale of focus, where integrator and administrator for sure are more process-oriented. What does it give us? We can put P, A, E, and I personalities clearly to quadrants. And in the real life, in the projects, we could try to see and recognize who are these people, who are focused on results, producers, who are focused on procedures and systems, administrators, who are focused on creativity and continuity, entrepreneurs. Motivation and cooperation is important part of the person of integrator type. Another thing, the questions that they are focused on. Producer is what-oriented, administrator is how-oriented, entrepreneur, why not? And integrator, who? Here is a bigger table where you have three categories, three cohorts of the mismanagers, managers, and leaders. I mean, mismanagers are the ones who have only one dominant role, and the others' roles are not well developed. In reality, you have persons with other roles better developed. This extreme needs to exist to be able to understand what our category is about. In reality, you will see persons somewhere here. And these ones are the persons with well-developed integrity that you can develop. But the persons are different. They are not ideal. And they run into conflict. Let's have a look at few conflicts they could run in. One is the conflict because of time focus. P person, immediate focus. Administrator, in the past, we analyze processes, how it went, and then we, based on that, build the process. Entrepreneur, I don't care about processes. Let's build it. And integrity, the present. Coordination, what they will coordinate if they are project managers. The result-oriented or producer, for sure will focus on goals. But the administrator will try to create system that will help to produce better outcome. This is example of American School of Project Management, PMBOK. A perfect book that describes a process. And they say if you have this process, your projects will be perfect. And as I'm coming from IPMA, we have the capabilities or more person skills-based approach. We say that process is not enough. We need right people with right skill set. And we can assess this skill set and develop. That's where you could run into conflict if you focus just on systems. Entrepreneur will focus on ideas, and integrator will focus on people. I had one guy in Stockholm in the team who is a clear eye person. He drinks coffee with everyone, he chats with everyone, and then he goes to work to plan how to go to lunch with someone and what to discuss in fika, coffee break, later afternoon with who. That's his focus. But he is perfect in sensing what's going on in this big organization and builds around himself team of loyal people who do all the work. That's also approach to project management which exists and makes sense in some cases. You need to understand in which case you need what kind of personality. So, one recipe. There are 9 characteristics of good managers from Itzhak Adizes. You need to be self-aware and conscious and well-rounded. I mean, no zeros in this PAEI model. To know strengths and weaknesses and your uniqueness, and also to accept it. It's quite different from knowing and accepting. Yes, I know I can be late to meetings, but what can I do about it? I can say that boss is never late. That's one way to accept it. Another way is to find a secretary who will remind you and drag you into meeting. That's 2 different approaches. Can identify excellence and weaknesses in others, and can accept and appreciate differences. I mean, if this is a person who is oriented on process and documentation, I cannot talk with her properly. I don't have common things to discuss with her. But in the team, she is golden because the team needs her. Knows how to slow down and relax. Yes, if you don't relax, you burn out. And last but not least, this is one of the things that Daniel Pink have came across, the mastery part. Mastery, autonomy, and purpose that motivate people to create a learning environment where the conflicts can be resolved and where the mutual trust exists. If trust does not exist, the learning will not take place. Answer to the question, why to become a project manager, is here. Here you have this PA, excellence focus, being effective and achievement focus, E, discovery, entrepreneur focus, and I, providing a service, happiness focus. In the crossing of the things, you can figure out if I'm a person who likes to achieve excellence. I'm administrator. I like the processes. I like the order. And I'm for result oriented. Then, if I go for a project manager career, what I can achieve, really good career. But most likely, that will not be my passion. Because I need this part, E, that I love some of the things in what I do. And some project managers go for project manager career because it's paid more. But they hate it. It's up to you. But again, if you are cautious, you can locate yourself in this model, and you can figure out which aspects you need to develop. Or if you are still in the position to run a project, what the world will pay for, and maybe the world needs, probably bring in administrator and find what is your passion, what is your passion part, so you will stay loyal to this project. I would like to finish with the quote of the guy whose models I have taken. Managerial job is far too complicated for any single individual to do. We need a complementary team. So my recommendation is that if you want to become a project manager, I think one of the answers for me why to become is to be able to build teams that are complementary, that are efficient and effective at the same time, that are short-term and long-term focused, and where you can create a mutual trust. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. These are some books that where you can find all this, some references, and my contacts. Questions? Anything to add to this list? I think we can skip that list now, when you know the rest. It's not important what you shall expect. It's more important to understand what you have, what kind of gold people you have, and you have gold people. You just need to see what they are perfect in and how to make from them the perfect team, the complementary team. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Nice talk. I would like to add a sense of humour, because you've demonstrated nice.
Yeah, that's good. And sense of humor shall be, the object of sense of humor probably shall be yourself, or your own country. Yes?
Are there any common recommendations how to get better project manager, or there are every single person has its own how to become better?
If we can rewind it back a little bit. Again, these are clear recommendations how to get better as a project manager, right? But if you have a combination, if you want to find the perfect combination, then if you look into Adiz's books, he also describes the life cycle of the organizations. And the thing is that for each step in the life cycle, the ideal project manager will be different. Because in some phases, you need entrepreneur. Then you need someone to focus everyone on profits. Pay less, only bonuses, more sales, no processes, and then scale up. And then the ownership of the business needs to be given away. Otherwise, organization will become in the family trap. And then it could become the bureaucracy, and then the organization probably will die after generating millions of profits. But again, the answer is that on each phase of organizational development, the ideal project management manager will be different. And all these roles belong to some. You just need to find proper organization for you. That's my answer.
That is still as true for Topconf, which did norming, sorry, was it?
Yep.
Norming, storming. And you need different project managers or a different project approach for each one.
Exactly.
So you were talking about a business situation, but it still applies to projects.
Let me introduce a speaker in this stream, Tom Taylor. Highly recommended because of the third aspect in this list, the sense of humor. And I will be speaking in Agile stream tomorrow. See you there. It will be practical case about telco and Agile and waterfall clash. Thank you.